Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Yes, welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. The show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, a.k.a. the Black Chapstick, and across from me is my captain and yours, Philip Rustisher.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Very good. Very, very good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's getting closer and closer to Christmas. This is actually 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah, the holiday season is, we're in the thick of it. You know, Kwanzaa's kind of winding down,
Sure.
Rosh Hashanah, Ramada Inn, all that stuff is winding down, and the new year is upon us.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
So, yeah, it's kind of winding down, and we're just, just a moment ago, you're like, I can't wait for this to be over. So you obviously, right. You have holiday turmoil?
No, it's a rush. It's, where do you squeeze $50 here to buy so-and-so a present, and
you must have a laundry list of people to buy for, because I ran into you at a Toys R Us a few weeks ago, and you were buying them way ahead of schedule.
Right.
I'm later this week I'm going to start. So you've been doing like a marathon shopping for a month solid.
Well, it really was. It was all about the kids. That's what Christmas is all about, the
Sure.
children, and we wanted to make sure that before we ran out of any money, we at least got their stuff done.
I agree.
So,
and the biggest kid I know, DSJ.
Oh, yeah. And we talked about the present we were going to get him, and I don't know whatever happened with that, if you went on ahead and got him.
Well, we had talked about getting him one of those robot cats to replace his cat that recently passed away.
Right.
But it was really expensive.
Yeah, because the one with artificial intelligence.
It is, yeah. It'll recognize you, and then after time, it'll recognize your voice and
Sure.
commands, and it'll even
They'll learn tricks and stuff.
Absolutely,
Right.
Yeah, that's the one. And we got the price tag on that, and I was like, whoa,
Right. We just bought this plane.
Yeah. He got a bump last year or earlier this year
Sure.
in his wage. So I'm like,
we've been struggling. We don't like to talk about it on the podcast because it's really not. We don't want our listeners to worry about us, but we're struggling to get by.
when Couch Pilots International kicks off, the money's
Sure.
going to start pouring in.
Right, exactly.
But until then, we have to spend money to make money. So we're limping along a little bit right now. And it's, like the interesting facts section of the show, we're peeling back the curtain a little bit and having our frequent flyers see what goes on behind the scenes here.
Sure, exactly.
But as far as DSJ goes, you got to get him a present.
Oh, you have to, because he works his little butt off. He really does.
I think he's Presbyterian. Is that right? Or not?
Yeah, I think he
Episcopalian, maybe?
Yeah, he wears a Presbyterian necklace.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I was like, if we can't get him this robot cat that's so expensive, I went to my basement and I kind of looked around at the different odds and ends that I had. I had a couple old lamps. I had a toaster that wasn't working properly. I kind of got a few things together. I had hot glue gun.
Sure.
And I don't know, it's actually right here. I can show you if you want to see it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
And again, you know what? This is all just like kind of found stuff. You could almost classify it as, found art.
Oh, yes.
But I do want to make him happy, and I do want your opinion because I know, if anyone in the world knows him better than myself and his mother, it's you, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm the third person to know him well.
Well, no, you're right up there with me as far as I'm
okay. I
concerned.
thought you said it was like you, then his mother, and then me.
His mom, probably number one with the bullet, and then you and I are right there.
Right.
So I want to bounce this off of you and see if
Sure,
it sticks
sure.
to me. So here, let me get this out here. What do you think about this? And seriously, I can already kind of read your face a little bit, but I do want you to be honest with me.
Well, it's definitely creative.
Okay.
And it does look like an art piece.
Okay, great.
But I don't think it looks like the Led Zeppelin logo at all. Is that what you're going for, the Led Zeppelin logo?
On the right side here? Right below its ear? Yes. I was trying to... Well, okay, so the fur is some old carpet, okay?
Right, shag.
Yeah, some old shag carpet that I had to tear up because we got real waterlogged in the basement. And there's this coloration here that kind of looked like the Zoso symbol. So I was like, what can I do with that?
You got to use that. You got to use that part of the. Normally, you would cut that out. If you were making this for somebody else, you'd tear that part off. Since it looks so much, It does look like a cat.
Okay.
It does look like a cat.
Okay, so that's another one in the positive bucket. I'll take it.
Sure. Does it know any commands, or does it do anything, or is it just a statue?
Well, I originally... Okay, like I said, this is all found stuff, so the toaster is broken. But if you press down this this mechanism like you're making the toast...
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you.
Oh.
See how it kind of flips like that?
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't always most of the time it does not land on its feet, unlike what they say about cats normally.
Sure.
You know, cats always land on that. Not this
Well,
one.
it's a quote unquote older cat. You know, it's
spring activated.
that works, and it heats up. So it's got, when you push that down, it kind of flips, and then it heats up a little
Like
bit.
a cat's warm, like
Right?
you're cuddling
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And you can make a bagel probably too.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It's almost like an action figure too, because you know how action figures will shoot things sometimes.
Right.
This will fire bagels right out if you wanted to.
Now, what did you use for the eyes?
Now, okay, good question. This one is an old shooter marble that I had from when I was a kid. I pulled out my bag of marbles. Like, I'm not using these.
Right.
I don't even know why I hold on to it.
Yeah, it's got like 300 of them. You can sacrifice 2 or 3.
And the other one is an actual glass eye from my grandfather.
Oh, that's cool.
He passed away 10, 12 years ago, and he had all this stuff. And I don't know why he wasn't buried with it, but he bequeathed his eye to me. I mean, when I was young, he'd always be like, hey, check this out.
I got my eyes set on you. I got my eyes set on
The
you.
show is built on the back.
It's kind of like,
songs.
he's like your guardian angel, maybe. Your grandpa wanted to be your guardian angel and always watching over you. Do you have it like in your room when you have sex? Can you see?
I did. I just on the shelf. I never thought of it like maybe he can see me from hell
Right.
with the eye, but maybe that was the case. Maybe he could see me. But when I was young, my grandpa would always he'd come up to me and he'd start flicking his eye. And I was like, "Oh my god, don't do that!" And then he would pop it out.
It'd be like tink, tink, tink.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, it's gross." So we kind of had this weird little kinship through his glass eye. And then when he passed, I guess he just thought,
you enjoyed him doing that, and so you wanted to leave it to you to be able to remember him by.
He was a millionaire architect. Okay, he had
Really?
he had a few $1 million, and I was like, maybe when he passes, maybe I'll get a little scratch. And I know that's a terrible thing to think when someone.
Well, I mean, it's reality.
It is.
It if you're sitting there going, "Oh, I can't wait until he dies so I can get this," that's one thing. But if you're like, "Oh, he passed of natural causes. I didn't help with it at all."
Right.
Oh, there's some money. It just helps the grieving process. That is the sixth phase of grieving.
Right. That's absolutely right.
Is cashing in.
And let's go through the other 5 real quick.
Okay.
Number 1,
depression.
you got Number 2, bargaining.
Number 3, denial.
Yep.
It ain't just a river in Egypt.
You said it. Number 4.
Number 4, anger.
And number 4, acceptance, right? And then number 6 is what? The one you just said.
Yeah, cashing in.
Yeah, cashing in. 6 is
Did
cashing
we
in.
miss? Why did I say 4 and then you said 4 and then we went to 6?
Oh, I
you were
thought I
supposed to
said
say 5.
I meant to say 5. 5 is acceptance. 6 is cashing in.
Okay, there we go.
And so anyway, he gave me this eye, and then I put it in this cat, and I was like, great, I'll get the eye from him, and then maybe I'll get a couple $100,000, pay off my house.
Yeah.
Just the eye.
Wow.
Just
Maybe that eye is really worth a couple $100,000, and you're giving it to DSJ.
Well, I filled it up with hot glue, so it's probably not worth anything now.
Why did you fill it up with hot glue? You just got to put a little piece of glue on the back of it. Because look at the way you have it there. You don't need to fill it up. Now it looks like the cat has glaucoma.
Oh God. Yeah. You know what? I did. Hindsight's 20/20 when it comes to hot glue.
The cat does not see 20/20.
It's really the icing on the cake too, because I have 2 brothers and a sister, and they both got $100,000. All of them got $100,000, but I just got this damn eye.
Your grandpa hated you.
I just ruined it with this hot glue.
Your grandpa hated you. The tail. We got a flight to do, but we can go ahead and talk about the tail for a few minutes.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So that's one of those toilet bowl brush cleaners undone.
Again, something else I wasn't using and had lying around
because it seems like it's kind of discolored. Is it mildew?
It is used. I'm not putting things I use in the basement. It was stuff that I had used and had no. Why didn't I throw the toilet brush out? I don't know. Maybe I thought I could use it for something. Case in point, here it is, hot glued to a cat.
That makes sense.
So it is. Yeah, it's disgusting. And I'm sorry for getting hostile.
You seem a little tense. You seem a little angry. I'm not judging you.
A lot of things are coming into focus right now with my grandpa giving all my siblings all this money.
Right.
And I get a glass eye, and maybe it is worth something, but I ruined it. And now
you know what? Take a deep breath. Here, breathe in for 2 seconds. Breathe out for 4. Ready?
You got a pop filter on?
No, I don't.
All right.
I do, but you don't. Well, you kind of have one, but not really. Okay. Now listen.
That helps.
Think of it this way.
All right.
All right. You're passing along your grandfather's legacy to DSJ. Nobody in your life deserves this more than DSJ.
You're right. You're right.
So you're not losing something. You're gaining something. You're gaining that golden key. You know what I'm talking about? That golden key to heaven.
I want that golden key because I don't want to spend eternity getting stabbed by the devil. With my grandfather.
You get stabbed or you get fucked in the ass. I heard you get fucked in the ass.
Well, I think it's whatever your deepest fears are that comes to fruition, and I don't.
Get married again. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't want to get effed in my. I don't mind getting effed in my A, so I won't be that. So my biggest fear is being stabbed by the devil himself. So
up jump the devil.
Yeah, that's right. I probably will not go down there. Hopefully, I'll get that golden key to heaven.
Right.
St. Peter. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this with your permission.
Oh no, this looks great. You put my name on the tag, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
And then
I bought him some of his favorite candy.
I don't even know what that's.
The chewy tropical lemon heads.
Okay.
Not the hard ones, not the lemon ones, but they're lemon heads, but they're the tropical and they're chewy.
Now let me ask you this: when I think of lemon heads, I just think of the hard little yellow ones.
I love them.
They're great. Yeah, they're fantastic.
I ate a whole box today at work.
Now, how big are the boxes? Have they grown with America's waist size growing?
No, it's like a movie theater box. But the thing about Lemonheads is when you get a movie, if you buy M&Ms in the movie theater box, you open it up and then there's a package that's half full in there.
Right.
Lemonheads, there is no package. It's just that box is shoved full.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's why I started eating them.
When I think about Lemonheads, I think about those little boxes. You know those little, it's like gravel wrapped in paper and gunpowder, and you throw it on the ground and it pops.
Yeah.
I think about boxes those size, about the half size of a deck of playing cards. Mm-hmm. That's what I think about when I think about a box of Lemonheads. No. But you're talking about the movie theater. That's a big, like, king size.
You can get them for $1 at Dollar Tree.
Nice.
That's where we get most of our cups and plates for the flights.
Sure. Why spend more than $1?
Right. Exactly.
My other question about tropical lemon heads is it all tropical versions of lemon, or is it different flavors? And if it's different flavors, then how can they still call it lemon heads?
It's different flavors, and I think it's more of a branding thing. Like Sprees, they have different kinds of Skittles. They have like sour Skittles, and they have. And they're different flavors.
When I think of Skittle, though, I don't think of, a Skittle is this flavor. But when you're telling me lemon in Lemonhead, I'm thinking of the flavor lemon.
Right. I think you're thinking way too far into this.
Probably. How about fan feedback?
Fan feedback. First time ever, I got face-to-face fan feedback with somebody I didn't know.
How does that work?
All right. Well, the other night...
Because I've never experienced anything like that.
You never had anybody... No. I've been podcasting for 10 years, and this is about the fourth time it's happened in my life.
I know you had one up, was it at Muddy Roots up in Chicago? Didn't someone stop you there and say, hey, aren't you the podcasting god I'm in?
Yeah, okay. And then when I was at this, many, many years ago, when I was at a Split Lip Rayfield concert, this lady walked up to me and she said, I'm sorry to bother you, but are you Blake Clayton from IBWIP? And I said, yes.
Do you have your boner out?
No, it was Melissa, and Melissa ended up being a really good friend, her and her husband and her ex-husband, sorry. They were really good friends for a long time.
What's she doing right now?
Melissa?
Is she remarried?
No, she's not remarried.
We'll have to talk about that after the show.
Okay, yeah, I'll give her your number. Mm-hmm. Or I'll give you her number.
Either way.
You should call her, not her.
I'll call her, yeah.
But I was at the Walgreens with my grandmother getting her some oxycodone.
Oh, oxycodone. Yeah. That's strong stuff.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't just pick it up myself. I had to take her because she actually has to be there to get it handed to her.
Do you take like 10% off the top?
Yeah, I mean, 3 for you, Grandma, 1 for me.
Right.
3 for you, Grandma, 1 for me.
Makes sense.
Because at 85, does she really need?
No,
come on. I mean, does she need to be that high? And the thing about it is, she's like, I don't take them very often because they make me so tired. I'm like, I bet they do.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I don't think you're tired. I think you're just fucking tripping balls. So we were at the Walgreens, and I'm walking, and I just got off work, so I was in my work gear. I was dirty.
Yeah.
Very rugged.
Look like a man. A man's man.
Man. And this young lady came out from like the storeroom or whatever, and she walked by me, and she kind of looked at me, kind of
checking you out a little bit, like, hey, what's this,
yeah,
what's this all about?
Yeah, and see, I'm used to that. I'm used to when girls see me, they always look from top to bottom, stop at the middle, go back to the top.
Has that increased with all the dirty after works? Like whenever you're after done from work, girls are like, "I like the look of that."
Oh yeah,
that's a working man right there.
It's kind of like the girl at the dentist, which I can talk to you about on a different show called IBWIP.
Recently, is this recent? Okay, because you had a while back.
And now it's and I've got a
dental hygienists love Blake Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like to hear about that on IBWIP only on the FCF network.
Right. So I walk by the young lady. She kind of looks at me, but I'm thinking, oh, she's just checking me out. Girls check me out all the time. Now that I'm married, they want to all bang me.
They can smell that estrogen on you.
Yeah. And then I went and put the prescription in, and then I was going to look for my grandma because she wandered off. I didn't put her little bracelet thing on that connects to my wrist.
A leash,
yeah,
an old lady leash.
And then the same girl was helping another girl stock the shelves.
Okay.
And she goes, "Excuse me." She goes, "Can I ask you something that might seem really weird?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
"Here it comes,
baby. Go ahead. I'll just give her my card. I'm not going to give her my number. I'll just give her my card.
That's right.
I'm just going to give her my card because it has my email address on it. That's the way now that I'm married, I always start off with a card, email address, untraceable.
That's right, because it's got to seem professional. But on the flip side of that, there's some deviant shit going on.
I've got some business cards on one side of my wallet.
Whoops.
This show is built on the back of his back burps. Where my regular ones that if I see a guy or some professional, I give him one of those. But I have like 4 or 5 of them. The same business card, but on the back of it has a little heart.
Oh, okay.
A little in the corner, just very subtle.
Like when you hand it to him, do you kind of tap the heart when you're handing it?
Yep.
Damn it.
Yep.
God damn it. I gotta. Okay.
And so I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's prepare for this. And she's like, I listen to your podcast all the time.
So she said, this is going to be weird that I ask you this. And she wouldn't write. She didn't even ask you anything. She just said, I listen to your podcast. Mm-hmm. At that point, mid-sentence, she knew that you were the guy from the podcast.
Right. She's like, you're Blake from Couch Pilots, right?
Okay.
And I said, yeah, I am. And I was like, it's an honor to meet a fan. And I got my I was going behind my back, because in my back pocket I always take a Sharpie everywhere I go and a pair of aviator glasses.
And do you ever have any glossies on you, like 8x10 glossies?
No, I quit carrying those around in the wintertime because
the aviator glasses are less bulky.
Right, exactly. So I was like, all right, here we go. She probably want me to sign her boob.
Yeah.
Give her some aviator glasses.
Just for the record, she had more than one boob.
Yeah, but I mean, Philip, rest assured, I just put on one boob.
Sure.
She was very, very flattering. She talked about how I was the best part of the podcast, how, getting it up doesn't make a difference, bringing it down doesn't make a difference, doing all the stuff in the middle is what's important. And I'm like, I kept saying, the Black Magistrate is great. He's, the backbone of the show. And she's like, no, I really don't think so. And it was weird.
That's disheartening.
I tell you this not because I'm trying to rub it in your nose.
No, you've never done anything. I would not. I don't think that at all.
Right. And I said, well, how did you hear about the show? And she's like, well, I know the Black Magistrate.
Okay.
And I was
the plot thickens.
Right. And I was like, oh, really? How do you know him?
Yeah.
And she says, you've had coitus.
Coitus. Now, that is an Asian flower that blooms only in the autumn?
Right. Exactly. She said, you guys harvest coitus together in the springtime.
Okay. Boy, that could really be anyone.
Right. Like I said, I didn't get into details of like how long ago was this.
Sure.
How long did you guys coitus in the field?
Right.
And so, so as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, she's a little biased. Of course she listens to the show.
But you think that I would be her favorite part if
maybe not, Jason.
I guess not. But you know what really bothers me? If she wants to say that you're hands down the best part of the show, that's subjective. I'll give her that.
Sure.
And honestly, I think the same thing. But when you say that getting it up and bringing it down...
I didn't say she said it. I didn't say that. I tell you every show that getting it up...
No, not you. I know you wouldn't say that. But when she says that to you, that getting it up and taking it down, the things that I do for this program, and you do all this stuff in the middle, but the stuff that I do, getting it up and down, is not important. You, ma'am, are not a pilot, okay?
Right.
And while I coital many women, And I will have to find out which one this is.
Mm-hmm.
And
she didn't give me her name.
Of course.
She had a name tag, but I was too busy, looking into her eyes
and signing her breasts.
Right.
That is very frustrating to hear because I know the ins and outs of this airplane. And what are you going to do? Are you just going to automatically be up in the air? No, you have to get up into the air. And who does that?
You don't just bewitch it and just go bling like that.
Man, okay.
And I'm sorry,
This is like I'm 0 for 2 on this banter.
Right, you are 0 for 2 on this banter. Maybe we should. We got one more fan feedback, just regular one.
0 for 3. Let's do it.
All right. This is from our Facebook page. You can look us up at Couch Pilots Podcast on Facebook.
Love Facebook.
The Facebook. Come and like our page. Do whatever you have to do so you can see the posts. I don't know.
People say that all the time. Go to my Facebook page. Check me out on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. And most of the time, who cares? What does that do for you? If someone follows us on Facebook, Captain Rest Assured, or they like something we do, what does that yield them?
Frequent flyer points.
Yeah.
And this feedback is in response to someone cashing out their frequent flyer points.
And I don't know who you're about to read, okay? But I will tell you that this person contacting us, they're getting frequent flyer points.
Right. They're getting points by cashing in their points. It's crazy.
Simply, yeah.
Richard, don't call him Dick. We've talked.
Oh, yes. Love this guy.
You probably know his better half is Lori Garcia.
Creator of Super Clyde.
And ironically, she's not Mexican. I don't think she's Mexican.
Not all of them are.
Oh, okay. Well, he finally got his package. And he posted a picture here with all this stuff spread across. I guess it's a pair of his
girlfriend's back.
Well, I don't think she's in the picture.
Bummer.
But he has it all arranged very, very nice. But I don't know if it's like his robe or like his work clothes or what. But it says, I received my Couch Pilots prize pack! Exclamation point. Thanks for the marijuana testing kit, the pregnancy kit, the beer koozies, signed aviator glasses, one dirty sock. It wasn't dirty. It was actually clean. It had been used, though. An unopened container of Tic Tacs, which are his Metamilk boner pills.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he mentioned that in his voicemail, right? That he was looking for boner pills?
Yeah, that was what started this whole thing.
Boner pills start most things.
6 bottle caps, stickers, a small-scale model of this Couch Pilots airplane, which is hopefully they're going to put on their Christmas tree. And the best of all, the show notes from Susan 313. Amazing, and he we were glad that he finally got it. It was well worth the $13 postage we had to do to ship that. After that, I was like, glad you liked it. Thank you for being such a frequent flyer, a frequent listener.
Such a dedicated listener.
Yeah, I mean, because fan feedback. If you guys interact with us, your points rack up quick, and you get surprise prizes.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, was he expecting to open that box and get one used sock?
No, but guess what? He got it.
He got it,
Surprise.
and he loves it.
Surprise.
And he did say that we don't get enough recognition for the work that we do to put this show on.
That's
and
fine.
I told him, I said, shut your pie hole.
Who's showing him our numbers, huh?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I will say, too, that for everyone that contacts the show, whether it's any kind of social media, or even if you tell someone, even if it's not like through the internet somehow, we still know about it.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I aren't so special that we know, but we have a machine here called the Pachinko machine. It is completely free of any electronics. It's all gears and winding. It is some sort of Rube Goldberg machine. There's a gerbil inside there somewhere, I think. And,
I feed him every night.
And it calculates all the numbers associated with Couch Pilots, pops out all of our new listeners, all of our frequent flyers, all of their frequent flyer points, and guess what? You contact us, like you said, they're going to start racking up.
Right, and something that I don't think people overseas understand, people like in Canada and like Mexico, all those people overseas, they don't realize is we base the frequent flyer points off the currency of your homeland.
And then inflation, we have to take that into consideration, right?
Sure. And so, if somebody in Australia sends us fan feedback, they're getting 5 points to the dollar.
Yeah, it's great.
Mexico?
It's smart with your money.
Right. Mexico, half a point to the dollar.
Yeah. Sorry, Mexico. You have to download twice.
Right. And so send us fan feedback. We have many ways to get a hold of us. There is, if you're a Twitter person, Couch Pilots Pod.
Sure. That, you know what? To me, I love the Twitter because that's where we reach out to people involved.
Right. And that's where you can see it happening.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have led with that one. I'm sorry. Our email address is couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. Facebook, of course. Instagram, couch_pilots_podcast.
Yeah.
And then we have our new one, which we love. This show is built on the backs of his back farts. You all right there, Captain?
Yeah. I'm
All
good.
right.
Thank you.
You're drinking hard liquor tonight. Are you going to be good?
I'm 0 for 2. I'll count that feedback
Okay.
from Richard Big Dick T.
As a wash. As a push.
So I'm still in the hole, so I'm going to start drinking pretty heavily.
Okay, and then the final thing, our new dial-in number, it's 910 Pilots 1, which, do you have the encryption of that?
Sure. 910-745-6871. Leave us a message. We're going to play it on the show.
You're going to get points.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah, and most importantly, you're going to get some points. And you never check your mailbox. You'll never know what's going to be in there. So, with that, let's board this plane and get this party started, sir.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Couch Pilots. Yeah, that's what we do. The show that no one asked us to do about the thing that no one asked about.
Why did your voice get all weird?
I think is
The
booze.
The
Blood,
air
alcohol.
Air compression.
TV shows that had only one episode to end. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's pretty simple.
And we do it in atmosphere above the clouds.
A mile high.
Right.
Yeah.
We're the original Mile High clubbers. Did you? I just heard about that today, actually. There's a new app for people who want to hook up in the sky.
Oh,
So
really?
if you align your travel plans, you can see who's like a Venn diagram of your travel plans and someone else. And if you find that little gray spot in the middle, you're like, hey, I could fuck you for a little bit here. And they're like, yeah, I would like to have that done to me. And then you can hook that up.
Oh, wow. What? I'm just writing it down just for research.
Sure.
What's the app?
It's Skyfuck. It is a really dirty app.
All right.
Today we discuss the pilot episode of American Nuclear from the year of our Lord, 1989.
Cool. 1989.
Great year. I was 8 years old that year. I have an idea of how old you would be. Do you know?
14, baby.
Nice.
My teens just started to get hair on my pubes.
Hair on your pubes.
Yeah.
So at this point, you've had pubic hair so long that your pubic hair had pubic hair.
Right. I mean, I had pubic hair when I came out of the womb. I just grabbed a bunch of my mom's and just shoved it on my crotch.
It has probably something to do with like pubic stem cells.
Right. And well, when I pulled it off of her vagina as I was coming out and I put it on mine,
Yeah.
You know how they let the umbilical cord dry,
Yeah.
it falls off.
Like a piece of beef jerky.
Right. Well, it dried into my skin pores, and so it just stayed there.
Yeah, nice. Pubes on pubes. I've heard of racks on racks, but pubes on pubes? And I have heard of that. I know that is an existing, and they call it a condition, but honestly, it's just like, it's a bonus.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the wintertime, I'm twice as warm as everybody else.
Can you imagine being like those open stalls as in first grade and just whipping out a huge black bush and all the other kids are like, whoa, what is this?
What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong, buddy.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
You hairless pube.
High five that.
Nice. Pubes on pubes. That's what this show's about. It's also about going back in time, back to the year 1989. Let's put our minds in that year so we can properly digest this pilot. So I'm going to name a few things.
Okay.
Kind of get you there. George Bush Sr. becomes president of the United States.
That's senior, not junior.
Not going to do it.
Not going to do it at this juncture.
Not going to do it.
And not going to do it.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
No new taxes.
That.
My wife is...
My
Damn it.
wife.
My wife is so old, she looks like she's going to fall over and die.
Bada bush.
I put it in her butt because her legs won't open up. That's Obama.
George Bush, vice president to Ronald Reagan, former governor of Texas, oil tycoon.
Oh,
Right?
yep.
You
You ever played that game, Oil Tycoon, on the PS2?
No, I've heard of like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Is it like that?
Yep.
And what's the point of that game?
Just to get as much oil as you can, and then you try to bleed everybody in America dry.
Not literally, but financially.
Financially, and then if you go into the bonus round, then you try to kill people.
Oh, with blood.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Then oh boy. I do not want to play that game, but I would like to. The United States Supreme Court ruled on June 21st that flag burning as a form of political protest is an act of protected speech under the First Amendment to the Constitution.
I thought we couldn't burn flags, but you're saying we could back in the late 80s?
It's frowned upon, I guess.
I always thought you couldn't do it.
Couldn't that.
Don't burn these flags at this juncture.
Now, and a lot of times people, George Bush Sr. was the last president to only serve one term. Because after that, you had Clinton 2. Then you had George Bush Sr. 2, or Jr. 2.
Barack Obama 2.
But the reason
Donald Trump 2.
Donald Trump, fingers crossed. Maybe, you know what? I think he will pass the thing where he'll be like Roosevelt, where he'll have like a third term.
Yep.
And then he'll die of polio. Mm-hmm. But what I'm
polio knows that you ain't no hoe.
The 90s hip-hop artist known as Polio. Remember that Polio Paradise song?
Oh, living in a
no star lives, living in Polio Paradise.
With Michelle Pfeiffer.
Great hip-hop song. Most people don't know, though, that George Bush Sr. did not get elected, because he burned a ton of flags.
Oh, yeah. He was burning flags on the oil fields. Because what he did, it was he's a very patriotic guy.
Totally,
And so every single oil pump that they had, they would stick an American flag on it. Well, eventually they catch fire.
Yeah.
And the oil catches fire, and then the flag catches fire.
And most people took that as a sign of disrespect, and they said, you know what? You got in here. We can't impeach you for this, but you sure as hell aren't getting a second term.
Thank you.
Thank you. Serial killer Ted Bundy is executed in Florida's electric chair. Ted Bundy, you remember that guy?
Didn't he have people? That wasn't the clown.
No, that was John Wayne Gacy.
Bundy, he ate people.
No, that was a different guy.
Okay, he kidnapped little kids and painted them.
I don't know who that is. Is that you?
No.
Wait. Jeffrey Dahmer ate guys.
Okay.
Jeffrey Dahmer was a gay guy that would have sex with other gay guys and then kill them and then chop them up and eat them.
And put them in. Yeah.
Ted Bundy was like a good looking dude. He was a handsome guy, and he would go to college campuses and pick up these broads and then just murder the hell out of them.
Oops.
You know what? Oddly enough, I think you just stumbled on that by accident, but that was his defense in court. Was
oops.
Uh-oh. They say, Ted Bundy, you are.
How do you plead?
You were sentenced with 13 separate accounts of first degree murder. How do you plead?
Oops. I went to school with Shane Bundy. I wonder if they were related.
They probably are. I'm sure that they are. I read this is 19 at 89. Mm-hmm. He was executed. I remember that. That is weird because I was only 8 years old. I remember that being a child and hearing about that.
Huh.
And I used to think, don't I watch Ted Bundy every week on the Fox network with his bizarrely dressed wife and
good-looking daughter?
Yeah, I always had that confused as a
horrible
child.
dog. I hated that dog. It was so shaggy and ugly looking.
What a mess. But I seriously, as an 8-year-old child, thought, wait. I'm watching Married with Children. Is this related to that? Because I don't know the last name Bundy from Adam,
Right. Adam Z?
I don't know it from Adam Z, as the saying goes. Oh, boy. I don't know about you. I just went back to 1989.
It's a good refresher course, and I like how that's one of my favorite things is so we can put our mindset in because we cannot judge these pilots. And for
not fair.
For you guys listening for the first time, we will get to the show.
Yeah, we will talk about the pilot episode of the show that the whole show about.
But this way, hearing that stuff, you can put your mindset in what the country was like, what ripped the pages of the newspaper.
Yeah, ripping the headlines from the paper.
Oh, that's right.
We cannot judge these pilots by today's standards.
No, it's not fair.
We are at the end of 2016.
They would all be ones.
They would all be ones. That's not fair because these aren't all ones. We have to look at the landscape in which they were presented to the public.
Right.
Here you go. There's your landscape. Bundy, dead. George Bush, in. Flag burning, go for it. Recently, and I wanted to move on, but I just thought of something else I was going to mention because I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to do this have for flag burning. But recently at work, things are slowing down a little bit during the holiday season at work. So I start to I need to keep busy. I'm not the guy who's just going to sit there and pick his beehole. I need to go around to different areas of the hotel and pick things up, clean things, organize stuff.
Sure.
I like to say, what is this? What is this thing? Why is it here? Let's get rid of it. I came across a couple of American flags.
Oh.
And they used to be in some of our meeting rooms. Every meeting room would have a flag stand, like a
For the Kiwanis Club.
Right, absolutely. And on the occasion, the Rotary Club. So I would go in there and I see these flags, these storage rooms, and I said, "Hey, boss, can I get rid of these flags?" And she said, "Well, I think you have to burn them. That's the only way to get rid of them, or you have to dispose of them properly, or something like you can't let." She's very like unknowingly and maybe naively patriotic. Like
Sure.
she doesn't know the ins and outs of what. But I said, "I got some kerosene. And I got a match right here. I'll take care. I'll go out back right now and take care of these. You just give me the word." And she said, "No, we got to do it properly. Maybe you Google it." I said, "Okay." But I was ready to burn some flags. I knew I was protected under the First Amendment.
First Amendment gives freedom of speech. What are you saying? That didn't include me? I like to party and have a good time. There's nothing but pleasure in my rhymes.
I felt like you were going to go further with it.
I wanted to.
Why did we choose to watch American Nuclear?
There's 3 simple criteria. I'm not going to go spend a lot of time on it. A, it had to have only been 1 episode made. It could have aired. It could have not aired. But it did not go to series. That's number 1.
One and done, baby.
One and done. Like most of the girls I've dated. 2, we had to find it on the internet. We're not paying for these, so we had to find it somewhere. And this one, asterisk, this one,
Special case.
This is a special case because it was able to be found, and then it was not, and then it was again.
You know what I'm keeping my eye out for? Even though you'd watch it, I did. I'm keeping my eye out for the Tribe because every day you text me and say
Every day.
Yeah, and you text me and you say, "Hey, I'm at, like the other day, you're like, I'm at the dentist," and it was before those girls started flirting with you, like
Candy.
This sucks.
Her name's Candy.
Okay, she's
Isn't that ironic that her name's Candy and she works at a dentist?
and you shouldn't have candy because you're
Right.
it's slowly. But you're like, I'm waiting out here. All the magazines rolled. They're gonna start picking at my teeth. I hate it. It's worse, almost worse than watching the Tribe. And I'm just like, dude, I'm sorry. I like to watch them at the last minute so they're fresh in my mind.
Right.
You will not let me live that down.
Never.
We said, let's watch the Tribe. I went to watch it. It was gone. You had already seen it. Someone had pulled it from the internet because of the effect that Couch Pilots has on American popular culture. I'm going to watch it someday so I can stop those texts. I'm sorry. I don't know what else you want me to say to you. I apologize for not watching the Tribe. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, I was just seeing if it was on there.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's one more reason that we picked American Nuclear, right?
Yes, it was free. We didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
it's 3 criteria. That's all we need.
Check, check, check. You're in.
Let's go.
You're not fired.
You're
Right?
not fired.
Where can you find the entire episode of American Nuclear? Well, I'll tell you. You can find it by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links. Or go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube. I like to say that now.
I know.
I say that now when I talk
I know
about
you
it.
do.
I like to say that whole thing.
You want to try it one more time?
Or classically blue, or in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube.
It's good.
I like to say that.
It's good. It's probably why that girl, the fan that listens to us, likes me more
Oh boy,
because of stuff like that.
that is tough to hear.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Have to fix that in post.
Wow.
You told me to turn it up. Turn it up. I did.
You turn it up all the way.
Show me the sign for turn it up, not all the way, with like the physical. Just a quick thumbs up.
Yeah, I didn't go point to the sky like it was on fire.
My bad. Oh,
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the listeners because I am not editing that out.
I'm sorry, all of my listeners. Summary of the pilot. A New York columnist and a mayoral aide marry and create a blended family with his rebellious daughter and her uptight children.
Classics, 80s, 90s.
Boom.
How do you make a sitcom? You put two worlds colliding together with children.
Got to have some conflict. If everyone's smiling, patting each other on the back every day, there's no show there.
No.
Who's going to watch that? There's got to be some conflict. Oh boy, conflict there was.
The Cuban conflict.
Between it's Cuban and Korean. Those are my favorite conflicts the United States have ever had. They didn't push the limit to war, ended at conflict. Love them.
Because like war, what is it good for?
Practically nothing.
Absolutely. Say it again.
Which part?
War.
What's it? Hold on. What is war good for?
Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Great song. Great segment. Interesting facts. The part of the show where we dig deeper than you would because you don't know what you're doing.
You're
we're
lazy.
Experts. Get off your lazy ass and look up some facts. Will you do it because I just scolded you? No. But I'm going to do it still.
Right. Our listeners right now are like, fuck you, guy.
No one's going to fact mine out of spite.
I'm going to fact the shit out of it. I'm going to fact the shit out of that guy.
I'm going to out-fact these fellas. I implore you. Please. You're not going to do it. That's okay. I'll do it for you. But the one thing I need from you is to not say anything in regards to these facts. There's so many qualifiers, so many adjectives out there that you can attach to these facts, but it's not going to change them.
No.
You're wasting your time. You're wasting my time. You're wasting Captain Philip, rest assure's time.
And I don't have time to waste.
There's no time to waste.
I got a grandma who's addicted to Oxycontin. I don't have time to be fucking around.
Here are some facts. Whether or not they're interesting is up in the air. I don't care what you think about it. I'm not going to give you my opinion. Philip Russell will extend that same
Never
courtesy.
give your opinion.
American Nuclear, part of the CBS Playhouse, Summer Playhouse, and aired July 25th, 1989.
What was the Playhouse? That was like the Sunday movie or something? Or
From my research and fact digging, I have found that the CBS Summer Playhouse, in fact, was a playhouse. Not figuratively, or not literally, but figuratively. I wish it was. I'd love to go to a playhouse.
That'd be cool.
Right? But what it did is, throughout the summer, it would show episodes of things that only had one show. They were potential pilots. So a great proving ground for us to mine from.
Definitely.
This prospective series was based on Jimmy Breslin's second marriage to a New York City council member and their combined 9 children. Breslin appears as himself in this pilot.
Huh.
Fact.
Okay. All right.
Take it in. Do with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything what I think of it.
And I know you
it's
wouldn't.
not going to change it.
You've only done it like 30 or 40 times, but I know this time you wouldn't do it.
No.
Mark Ruffalo's TV debut, perhaps best known as Hulk Hogan from the Avenger films.
Oh, he's such a hunk.
He is, isn't he?
He was also in a movie about a serial killer, the Topaz Killer.
Oh, great. You know
No,
what?
it was not the Topaz Killer. It was with all the signs.
Dynamite Kid.
The Vertigo Killer.
The Zodiac sign.
There you go. The Zodiac Killer. See how we bounce stuff off each other? It's
Yeah.
the Zodiac Killer. Wasn't he the Zodiac Killer? And I think, wasn't Meg Ryan in that and he raped her in that?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I went after I found out Mark Ruffalo, the biggest name in this. I scrolled through his IMDb, and the amount of rapes that he has committed throughout his IMDb page is unprecedented.
And it's not for us to judge him because it's an interesting fact.
He didn't write that,
Right. But what I'm saying is, it's an interesting fact. I can't give you my opinion on those rapes.
right? I mean, I think all of us have an idea about the morality of rape, but we can't express that during this part of the show because it is free from opinions. But what I can say is that his ratio from rape to non-raping roles in films, as determined by IMDb, is unprecedented. No one has those rape numbers like Mark Ruffalo.
I thought they didn't know who the Zodiac Killer was.
It wasn't him. I think he was a detective in that.
Ah.
But that didn't stop him from raping Meg Ryan.
Was she in the movie?
Interesting facts over.
Oh, that's it? Not a lot of interesting facts.
No, not a lot of.
Or were you just mad?
No, I didn't abruptly cancel this section.
You're like, I'm done. We're an hour into this and I'm done.
Twitter responses.
Ooh.
We don't do this every episode.
No.
Okay. So as per the norm, I take a look at the show we're watching. I said who directed this, who created it, who wrote it, who started it. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. I'm sending out tweets saying, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. Please give us any feedback if you'd like.
This is what we are.
This is what we do.
Wait, do it again. Say that again.
This is who we are. This is what we do.
Now we wanna hear from you.
Couch pilots.
Yeah. Hey, can you do this? This show is built on the backbones of his back burps. Can you do this? No.
No, I can't.
Is it cool?
It's really cool. I really like that.
It's pretty cool.
One of the many stars of American Nuclear, Ricco Ross. He was... whatever happened to that guy?
Suave. I think he killed himself.
Okay. Fair enough. Ricco Ross liked a couple of our tweets, and then maybe first for Couch Pilots, he retweeted us. Usually I don't mention if people just like our tweets, but this guy actually retweeted our tweet, which I think could potentially help us in some manner.
Nice.
I don't know.
A retweet doesn't new. It's a first.
He's the only black fellow in this, and he was
Alvin. Alvin got cold fucking punched and knocked out.
He got knocked out. Let's see. Another response we got from this one was from Bethany Rooney, the director of American Nuclear. And she says, sorry, aside from the fact that it was a fun experience, I don't have much to say. It was one of Mark Ruffalo's first acting gigs. And she's right. I think he had maybe a gig before that.
Wow.
So thank you to Bethany Rooney. We appreciate you taking the time. And here, our most prolific...
Yeah, this is where I got confused on this one, so I'm hoping you were able to decipher what was going on.
Sure.
With this one.
I had reached out to Cathy Ladman, and she was one of the stars of the show. She actually played Janet, which I'm not sure which one Janet was, but she was definitely in the show. She's kind of way down the list, about 12 people in, but she was part of this pilot. So
okay.
I reached out to her, and she says, "Wow, exciting to work with Lindsay Crouse on this. I think it was the first pilot I'd worked on, and Lindsay Crouse was the mother in the show." And then to that, I said, very cool. Thank you for getting back with us. By the way, you've been in a ton of things I've loved over the years. Take care. And, you know, when I dig into these and send these out, I don't always look into exactly what they do. But if they respond to us, then I start to take a little deeper look. Right. And sure enough, she has. I think she's been in, like, the Wonder Years and a bunch of other cool stuff from the 80s and 90s. So I was very... Oh, and The White Shadow, maybe. I can't remember. Maybe not. Anyway, a bunch of things that I really like. So I was very earnest in saying that I like that. And then she says... She said she said James Farentino, who played the lead role. He says, another childhood crush. Mispronounced what I considered an easy word at table read, accessible. I was very confused by this response, but I will take it. And then I said, who could blame you? James Farentino was a stone cold fox. And then she liked all of our tweets there. So a little back and forth, and nice. Kind of real time too. We were I was at work and we were shooting it back and forth. So. Big thank you to Cathy Ladman.
Our Twitter segment is growing with each and every episode.
The word's out.
It is.
The word is out, my friend. Yep. So with that...
Even Adam Carolla liked one of our Instagram posts of our show arts.
That was pretty cool. I am an avid listener.
I know you are. That's why I sent it to you. I don't like to bother you during the day.
Thank you very much.
Because I know you're not going to get back to me.
The days are off limits to you, sir.
If the sun's out, I'm not getting a hold of you. But it was a special one.
Yeah, I don't know why he liked that. Maybe I'm sure he's got a team of people doing it. But why they would like that, I have no idea. But I'm a huge Adam Carolla fan.
They could be, scouting us out.
They could be courting us, maybe. And a little something for us to germinate on for a few minutes while we listen to an episode or a promo rather for one of my favorite shows, Sex with Heather. Maybe we'll listen to that. I'm sorry, this file is not supported. So let's listen to...
I think I took it off.
Uh-oh, the song Inside and Out. I'm sorry, this file is not supported. Did you take all these files off? All I want to do is promote other shows in the FCF network. That is the function of Couch Pilots, is to promote other shows.
Right, that's the only thing we're on here for.
Oh, boy.
It's like when they used to make TV shows to put in between all the commercials for for people to do stuff. That's all right. Let's just talk about FCF Network altogether. Great network.
None of the promos seem to be working. But yeah, let's go ahead. You go ahead and take a moment, if you would, and then speak about one of your favorite shows in the FCF Network.
One of my favorite shows?
Do a promo for all of them.
Okay, here's the promo for all of them. FCFnetwork.com. You can get Sex with Heather. If you're a millennial girl or female, woman, whatever, great show to listen to. Talk about sex. It's not just raunchy, dirty. It's in a cool way. She talks to her plant Heather, which is a heather plant. Spoiler alert: the plant dies. She gets another one, and it's not a heather plant. Drunken Lullabies. If you like craft beer, if you like indie music, it's a great show to listen to. Low Blow Podcast, which our buddies Adam Z and Dave Rowan, who Dave Rowan has a crush on me, and that's cool. And I'm
He called you a 6 out of 10.
Yep, and I'll take it. He mentioned many times how he wanted to put his fingers in my butt.
I didn't catch that. Oh, my God. Lucky duck.
Yep, and so that's a great show. They do news stories, and they just talk about life. IBWIP.
The flagship show of the network.
Thank you. Going on almost 10 years. Are we going to do something for the 10-year anniversary show?
No.
Okay. Then Couch Pilots, and that's about it.
That's about it. That's it.
We love them. We love all of the shows.
Check them out only at fcfnetwork.com. I will say this is the only show that you're going to get some kind of frequent flyer points from, but that shouldn't stop you from listening to everything else.
Yeah, and I've heard another podcast. They talk, they kind of dissed the fact that we do frequent flyer points.
Another podcast? Then? Who's that?
On the F7 Network. They're like, oh well, we don't give our listeners anything. So
of course, and yeah, why spend the time to brag about you not helping your listeners?
Sure.
Okay, whatever. Let's dig into the pilot of American Nuclear. It starts. I don't think the beginning was like the intro. There was no real intro to the show. It's kind of a panning of some newspapers going around.
It's a newspaper machine place. So they're he's a newspaper writer.
But it ended with like the newspapers like being thrown at a guy, and then it went right into the show. So maybe that's how it would start each episode. But it was kind of at a newspaper factory, or I don't even know what it is.
Well, I think that eventually it was going to get more into him at work.
Probably so.
But yep, and of course you had that 80s sexy jazz saxophone.
I made a note of that too. A lot of saxophone in this. Early in the morning,
rising to the streets.
beep.
Light me up that cigarette, and I'll strap shoes on my feet.
Beep.
Got to find a reason things went wrong.
Beep.
Got to find a reason why my money's all gone.
Great song.
I could have kept going too. Yeah, early morning, you meet Annie and Mikey. They are husband and wife. They're in bed together, and thousands of phones are ringing.
I am thinking they said Annie once in the beginning, because I didn't know her name at all. I could have looked at IMDb, but I tried to pay attention during the show, and I had no idea. This
episode, I worked really hard to get all the names straight.
I'm just going to give you a preemptive. Great job.
Thanks.
Yes. So they're laying in bed together. It's early in the morning.
Early in the morning. Oh, sorry.
Let's do it again. The sun isn't up. It's dark outside. And
now it's dark. I can't sleep. Don't you fucking look at me, because I'm one fucking well-dressed man.
Metallica. His songs.
Go ahead. Sorry, I won't do any more.
There's a nightstand on each side of the bed. And
there's a nightstand in the bedroom that you left me in alone. Sorry. Okay, I'm done.
Can we do this? I think we're so far into the show. Can you just quickly sing the plot? Can you quickly sing the entire plot?
Do you want me to? I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Annie and Mikey got married not long ago. Each have 2 kids, half grown. And now it's time to talk about their jobs. Mikey works at the newspaper. He's a really famous writer. His name is on a bus. And then there's Annie, and she works for the hot redhead mayor.
Not all my ideas are good.
Okay.
So,
well, I got you caught up.
We did. But, yeah, when they're in bed, they have a phone on each side. So they've got, like, separate lines. So she's got people calling her from the mayoral office. And you know what? I didn't read the summary before that. So I'm trying to figure out during the show what's happening. And it's tough.
Yeah.
Because I don't know right away. And the husband gets a call about a hearing or something, and there's 2 phones.
Yeah, I thought he was a lawyer or like the DA at first.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the way it felt to me. Now, and right off the bat, Mikey's got the Brooklyn accent. Can you do a Brooklyn accent? Brooks and Dunn accent?
Here's my best Brooklyn accent.
Brisket ascot?
It's like beef brisket. I say, hey, I'm walking over here. What do you think?
Great.
Hey, all you knuckleheads, I'm walking right over here.
They've been married for 1 year because their anniversary's coming up.
Yep, and they're in bed. They have this argument, and they're kind of talking about their exes, and he's getting kind of loud, and he's getting erratic, and they're fighting about their relationship, and he's like, you know what? Then they make up very quickly, which is a quick, like a reoccurring pattern in this show.
Sure, it's very there's no, like, it's like 2 or 3 sentences, and all of a sudden they're okay.
He says, "I'm going to take you to the Pastrami Palace," and I was like, I know exactly what that is.
I was like, this is a porno.
Like,
Jason sent me to a blue link to a porno.
We've had cartoons, we've had game shows, we've had talk shows, and now we've got a pilot episode of a porno.
Nice.
Take you to the Pastrami
High five
Palace.
that shit. Phones,
Nice.
phones. All you really need to know in the first scene is phone, argue, Brooklyn accents.
They go over to the boys' room, and there's a Brady Bunch style trope with a line down the middle.
It's a police,
Yeah.
like, do not cross the line.
And this is the first instance you get where you got 2 boys living in the same room, and you find out, hey, one's messy, one's kind of cleaning up tight. This one belongs to mom. This one belongs to dad. And I think David belongs to mom.
David belongs to mom. He's the neat freak. And Michael is
Mark Ruffalo.
And he's a sloppy guy who gets all the ladies.
Oh, look at that chest hair made me a little. Oh boy, I love
Never
it.
had chest hair. They're arguing. The mom comes in, and she makes them, like, get on opposite ends of the bed and role play, like, as the other person to try to resolve the conflict.
Yep.
My mom would never do that.
No. She just say, "Shut the hell up! I'm making eggs."
Right.
She's like, "Great, I can't wait to have some." No, I'm making eggs for me.
Right. She's like, my mom would be like, you guys are gonna make me die. Then
Going down to breakfast.
going out of breakfast and
Chaos.
mass chaos. This is where you meet the 2 daughters, Mary and Rachel. Mm-hmm. Rachel.
You got down there. It's just unmitigated chaos.
It's a crazy breakfast time. I leave work I leave work. I get up at 5:00 in the morning. I leave by 5:15. Nobody's up. Thank God. I could not handle this every day.
You're talking about lost socks. You got TV broadcasters talking about some teacher with cocaine. That's how somehow affecting Mickey and his job. And then you got Mickey tearing up speeches.
Right.
The guy's nuts.
Yeah, and he's very New Yorky, very loud, very waving his hands around. Everything's a big fucking deal, and he can't take it. This happens a lot in the show. You're making me crazy. I can't take it anymore.
The dude goes from a 2 to an 8, like in a half a second. It's crazy. At this point, like, I saw the bedroom scene where they're arguing, and now he's ripping things apart in the kitchen. I was like, this guy's a jerk.
Right, he's losing his shit.
And I thought it was funny that it was based off of an actual person. Because, like, this person's an asshole.
Right.
Like, why would this person be like, yeah, you can go ahead and make a show about me being an asshole? And then he gives his daughter Mary, a credit card.
Yeah, she just comes in and says, hey, I need to borrow the credit card. And he's like, hey, how'd your report card go? She's like, gotta go.
Yep.
I'm like, what? First of all, I would never give my daughter my credit card.
No.
Second of all, I don't have a daughter that I know of.
And third of all, this is New York City, I believe.
Right.
And this apartment is huge, and it's got to be ungodly expensive.
Sure. I mean,
right?
they're making bank.
It's got to be like $10,000 a month, right?
Easy $10,000 a month.
Unbelievable. Because you find out you got 6 people here, and he's like, "Hey, did you get your report card?" She's like, "They're going to mail it to you," and you know right away it's a lie. And he's
Sure.
like, "Oh, I didn't know you do that. So something new they're doing." And then when she leaves with his credit card, the mom says, "Hey, you got her credit card right here, or her report card here. It totally sucks." And he's going around the building like they rent out the entire floor of this building.
Yeah, that was what I noticed. It's like he's going from window to window as she's turning corners, arguing with her.
She's down on the street,
Right.
and he's popping out these windows. That's right. And in each corner, he's going to a different. I was like, "How big is this freaking apartment?
Right.
It's got to be tens of $1,000s a month. How are they affording this? It's insanity."
And then this is where you also meet Alvin for the first time. Alvin, you don't know who he is. He's a black man in a suit, so you know he's okay.
This is something I like about the show. I will tell you right now, is that they throw you headfirst into situations.
Oh yeah, it's mass chaos. I mean, you as a viewer, you got to pay attention because they're throwing you right into the mass chaos.
Some people want their hands held and walk through everything.
I'm not holding anybody's fucking
I
hand.
like that I have to figure this out. I like that they're not, every scene they're like, "Hey, Johnny, how are you?" "Well, I'm great, Mark.
How are you?"
It's like, don't call each other. I wouldn't do that. I didn't come in here today and say, "Hey, Blake, what's up?" It's like, "What's up, man?" Let's be real.
Sure.
Let's deal with it. We're not spelling everything out. I like the fact that you have to figure it out through context clues, and you're just thrown into it. And they're not holding. I like that about this show.
Alvin likes to slap box with all the kids.
I thought that was weird too, 'cause,
first-
given no context.
Yeah, no context. Here's a black guy slap boxing with the white kids. I was like, oh, something's going on. Then of course we have, what comes next. We always mention this.
A Buxom Blonde?
No.
No?
Screen goes black. Commercial break.
Nice. High five that
Sorry.
for sure. Mickey leaves the house then with Alvin.
Alvin!
And Mickey's pissed that Alan drove, and he drops his keys down the drain. And again, I don't have context for this. At this point, I'm thinking, what does Mickey do for a living? Is he this guy's lawyer? And if so,
That's what I thought too.
right, and then they even go to a place where there's like a bunch of steps and like columns. Like that looks like a courthouse or something.
And he talked about how Alvin's got like 73 moving violations or something, and it's Alvin's a smooth talker, hip, cool guy, and people are getting his autograph.
He talks about being a fighter a little bit, and so and
after some more of that sweet sax music.
Yeah, and I said, is Mickey? Is he like a newspaper magnate or is he a lawyer? I really
still
don't
know. And they had already shown the bus that his daughter got on. The side of the bus had his Mickey Dunn. But it was so fast, I didn't know. So
I barely caught it.
They barely caught it. Like, okay, so he's some kind of well-known celebrity or something.
People seem to know him. They yell at him on the street. Mickey tries to convince Alan not to fight anymore, but he kind of gives in. And still, I'm thinking, what is their relationship?
Right.
Who are these? And as much as it's kind of frustrating, again, I kind of like the fact that I'm not being spoon-fed every little answer too.
It's very quick. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on really quick.
They're laying a ton of groundwork. Mom is in politics, I'm thinking, and she works with the mayor as an assistant or something.
Yeah, Annie goes to work and she's got like a printed speech, and it was funny. She was like, I think Mickey had wrote the speech or something for her. But it was so funny is when she handed it to the guy to look at, he like let go of the paper because it was back when the printer paper was perforated and was all connected.
Right.
So he's like. It's like 5 pages, and it's like, and I was like,
that's perforated printer humor that you just don't get anymore.
Nope.
You know what? Out of all the humor that's gone by the wayside, I may miss perforated printer humor the most.
Exactly.
So what happens next here?
She has a conversation with the mayor about the problems with the cocaine school teachers or principals.
She says, like, your husband's going to run me up through it. And I think this is the first time you kind of see how their jobs can be in conflict with each other.
Definitely.
So not only are they having business conflict, but it bleeds into home, too.
Life conflict.
Absolutely.
And the mayor says, I wish I would have had some kids. People, I'm the mayor. Nobody thinks I care about school kids because I don't have any kids of my own.
Right.
And there was something called the Moralin Act or something.
I don't remember that.
It was stupid. So the mayor has no kids, and she's like, the people would like me more if I had kids.
Yeah, that's what they say about like the president too. Is like the president should be married and preferably with a kid or two because people want to see that. They want to see that they're a family man. There's something that connects to voters on that level. So why not for the mayor too?
Next thing you know, instead of some, this show is built on the backbone of his back burps.
Next scene, you got to go to the ghetto. Yeah. Hip hop neighborhood. That's what I call it. Mickey, I seem to think, okay, maybe he's a reporter because he's going down there with a pad of paper and he's writing, and he's talking to kids about school
and crack
and doing and selling crack, and they say something about BC. And they're like before crack.
Yeah, Mickey is having a conversation with these two black girls, these two black guys, and then. Ironically, sitting on the hood of the car is some white guy. I don't know what the hell he's all about. I don't know why he's in the hood.
He has been accepted by the African American community and integrated as one of their own.
Then he goes home and he has this big argument with Michael, who is Mark Ruffalo, about an essay. Michael had an essay at school and got a F, I think.
Yeah, and so earlier his daughter's like, "Give me that credit card," and it's like, "My report card will be here soon." And they find out the report card comes in, and she's got bad grades. And Michael's got bad grades. Right. His kids are stupid. That's what I'm finding out.
They're rich and spoiled, is what it is.
Mickey has raised stupid children. His dumb daughter then comes home she gives him dinner. She gives her dad dinner, and then after that,
well, they're all making dinner. Like all the kids come in like. Simultaneously.
Well, she knew Dad was mad when she left, so I think she came back with like a peace offering for dinner.
No, because Mom had told her that's why she originally wanted the credit card was because she was supposed to pick up some provolone.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm
what
sorry.
Are you slacking? But anyway, next thing you know, all the kids are in this kitchen.
Yeah, just ravaging the
And
refrigerator.
they all know they all know what's being cooked. They all know what their duty is.
Yeah,
it's a fine oiled machine, and it's just Mickey's yelling, and it's just drama.
Mary is tenderizing a chicken breast.
Just beating the hell out of it. And then Rachel comes in, and she wrote something, and she got a bad grade, and he's reading it, and he's like, "This sounds like me." And she's like, "Yeah, my teacher said that I plagiarized it off you." He's like, "This no what."
A while back, we talked about the show L.A. Confidential, right? Had Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland in that just was kicking down doors left and right. The version of this is Mickey is just ripping up papers.
Oh, he rips up. That's like the shtick of the whole thing.
That's
like
his deal.
Every 3 minutes in this episode, he's ripping up some kind of paperwork. Everybody's like, "Hey, why are you ripping up my paper? It's not yours. Hey,
I'm from New York over here. Why are you ripping up my paper over here?"
Good, you nailed it. High five that. So again, Mickey, the wife comes in. So what's going on? And Mickey's freaking out. He's like, "You guys are driving me crazy. I'm out of here."
Yeah. He pissed off Rachel by saying that she copied his writing, ripped up her paper,
Yeah.
throws a fit, and then gets out of there.
Yeah.
Dude sucks.
Because he's like, "Rachel, you don't love Ross. Why do you keep leading him on?"
Yeah, exactly.
He leaves the kitchen. Next thing you know, poof, whatever he's making instantly goes up in flames.
This is something that I didn't understand at all. Big flames come out of the stove. Instantly, there was a fire extinguisher. Where did she get that fire extinguisher?
I don't know. She was quick.
I think she was keeping that in her back pocket.
Right. I think she was keeping it in her hair because she had a helmet for a head.
Nice.
Rachel is in her room crying. Michael comes in and tries to help out. He's like, "Hey, I know my dad's a little rough. You get used to it, blah, blah, blah."
They discuss kind of their name giving them privilege.
Sure.
And they say, "You know what? Got to get revenge." Right? He's been really dogging all of us lately. We got to get some revenge on Dad.
Right. And it's weird. I was like, how'd they come up with that so quickly? So what they decide to do, they get with David, which is the clean kid, the brother.
Yeah, the mom seems to have the more intelligent, uptight children. And it's really this scene that I like, okay, the mom's got a boy and a girl, the dad's got a boy and a girl. I'm really cementing who belongs to who and what this family structure looks like at this point.
And maybe that's what maybe they made it that way. Maybe they said you're going to learn as you go just to keep everybody interested.
Sure.
So Mark Ruffalo gets with David and is like, "Hey, we got to get back at Dad because he's got so they put an ad in the paper. He breaks into the paper or something.
Yep, he hacks on in.
And something about they put their phone number, and then if they're looking for a table for a restaurant, I don't understand.
Something about they took an advertisement and they changed some information to make it sound like it was a party they were having, or they could call a phone number and for X amount of dollars they could be a part of this. And it seems pretty shady and unbelievable that he did it. These are this must have been early days of the internet for him to hack remotely into the computer.
The computer was like one of the first ever Macintoshes.
You got black screens with green letters. It seems like a very DOS situation. So Mickey then in the next scene shows up to his daughter's school and he audibly decimates the teacher who ridiculed his stepdaughter's paper.
Right. He's like, you should be so lucky to have such a talented girl here. And when she wins a Pulitzer Prize, I'm going to come here and I'm going to shove it up your asshole.
And this is all happening right outside the classroom where Rachel is actually. She can hear the whole thing.
And Rachel's teacher in this scene that's actually teaching the class, she's good looking.
She give you a Meta Milk Boner?
Meta Milk Boner.
You're going to want to high five that one.
That was a rolling one. Hey, did you hear that? Let's do it again.
Oh boy, that is really
that's saved for special occasions.
Yeah, not all bucks and blondes get that.
She wasn't blonde; she was dark haired.
Not all towhead blondes get that, or towhead buxoms. I don't know.
All right, here we go.
I'm drinking.
Next scene: Annie and Mikey are at a diner. They
Mickey.
What did I say, Mikey?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm drunk. Annie and Mickey get together at the diner, and she's like, I know what you did. It was a sweet thing. You're a great guy. Hey, your speech, I only cut a little bit of it out. But then, again, he gets pissed off.
He is constantly flipping his lid.
And then rips more paper.
More paper has been ripped. How many trees have to fall before this man
How many trees have to fall?
This show is built on the back of his songs.
For Mikey to get his point across. How many trees must die for Mikey to get his point across.
He rips up her speech. He does not dig it. Next scene is I am a little off put by the scam these kids are running. I don't understand it fully, but the oldest daughter, Mary.
Well, I think what it is her dad is so famous that he can get a reservation that day at any of the hosh posh restaurants in town because he's so famous. So they're utilizing that to get people, will pay them to get them reservations.
And pay them, they do. Mary,
$400.
$100 at least of this first person. I think Mark shows up later. Mark Ruffalo shows up with $400 later. But they get money for these dinner tickets. And then next scene, Mickey is finishing up like another article, and then bam, his lady walks in, and she is smoking hot.
Let's.
Holy cow!
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He's banging the shit out of this typewriter. He's a peck guy with one finger each hand, and he's just beating the hell out of these keys.
Yeah.
I was like, those poor keys. I mean, let's come on, people. And I apologize. She did come in dressed like a hook call girl.
There's two different scenes in this pilot where he is finishing up an article, and whenever he does, he is arm pumping. He is psyched that he's
hey,
another one
Mikey's,
in the bag.
Mikey's here.
Mickey nailed it again.
Why do I keep saying Mikey?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry.
Kids,
She did look good in that dress.
She did. Kids, except for her hair. The kids are counting up there with how much money they made. $400 in one day.
Nice.
The next scene, you see Alvin standing outside a posh restaurant. He's got a suit on. Annie and Mickey pull up in a 1975 Chevy cab.
How do you know that?
It was a 70. It was a 55. I'm sorry, it was a 55 cab.
Nice.
I can tell by the wingtips. I like a 55 over a 57 Chevy. I don't like the fins.
I'm learning something about you every day.
Now, and Annie's like, "What's going on here?" And Mickey's like, "Hey, don't worry about it, Alvin. Just stay out here and wait for the champ."
Yeah.
The champ, and was it?
I tweeted this person.
Was it Marvin Hagler?
This is Evander Holyfield.
It was Evander Holyfield.
The real deal Holyfield.
So this was right after he beat Tyson?
It must have been 89, yeah. So he shows up, and Alvin challenges him to a rematch.
He's like, "Why won't you fight me again? Why won't you fight me?" He's like, "Man, I kicked your ass last time. I don't want to hurt nobody."
Yeah, it's like I beat the holy hell out of you, and I don't want to kill anyone. I want to fight people who are up to my level. And then Alvin is not having it. He wants this opportunity, so he calls him like a sissy or something.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I guess everybody's right when they say you're a sissy."
Evander cocks back, knocks him out, totally lays him out on the ground. He goes back inside and says, "What's up?" to Mickey on the way in. Mickey, they know each other from him being a writer.
Sure.
He's like, "Hey, what's up, champ? How you doing?" And then Mickey comes across Alvin laid on the ground and helps him up, and he's pretty upset. And he kind of walks off into the sunset. I think that's the last time we see him in the pilot.
He was very distraught. His life ambition was to be the champ.
Yeah.
And he just got fucking knocked out by the champ in front of a restaurant.
There is natural talent, and there is God-given abilities, and
both of those things we have.
You and I both do. Absolutely.
I've got the natural talent. You've got the God-given gift abilities.
That's right. I've got God-given gift abilities, and you can't. So you can train and work as hard as you can, but sometimes people on like on a DNA level are just above other people. You cannot stop that. So even though Alvin's tried his whole life, and that's what he wants to do, he's not as good as Evander Holyfield, as he just proved right there in front of that restaurant.
Next thing you have, screen goes black.
Commercial break. Inside the restaurant, Mickey is there with Annie, and they go to the table, and he's kind of confused. He's like, "Why is there 7 seats here?" And then this kind of the scam that the kids are running, he kind of puts it all together because they got other people coming to join them for dinner.
He's like, "Hey, no way, I'm about to go off again. I'm like a dynamite."
You know what I do? I see the situation. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down and have a nice dinner.
It's my wife's anniversary.
Yeah.
I would be stupid. I would be a dumbass. This is my second marriage. Why would I leave this restaurant?
But he totally leaves.
Fuck yeah, he
in
does.
a huff. The dude is insane. He gets all angry.
Insane in the membrane.
Just like Cypress Hill once did. He got insane in the membrane and left, and he discovers the kids' scam, and then he goes home, and then he gets the kids.
He's like, "Out! All of you, get your coats out of here."
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Come on." Puts them all in one cab. There's 4 kids and him in one cab. That seems odd. They pull up in front of the mayor's house, and she's throwing a big, fancy gala. She's standing out there greeting everyone, and he comes out, and he's like, "Hey, mayor, sorry I said some bad stuff about you, eh? But you said you wish you had kids. Well, guess what?
Boom.
Here's 4 of them. Take them. Goodbye.
Boom. And he does. He leaves the kids with the mayor. So he goes home, and then the wife comes home. And to me, this is the most confusing part of the entire show. He comes home, and they've had nothing, like every encounter that the husband and wife have in this, they argue. Every encounter. When she gets home, she is totally cool with the fact that he left.
It's not funny. It's not funny. That's about the extent of her agitation.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what you did, that's not funny.
But she had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
This is her anniversary, and he ruined it by stomping off like a baby, and she was totally cool with it. She doesn't even get mad until she finds out the kids were dropped off at the mayor.
Right, oh, yeah.
I would have been far more pissed if I have my significant other left during our anniversary.
Right.
But she didn't care about that. I guess she knows this asshole so well that she predicts his behavior, and it's come to either
and they'll probably stay married longer.
Maybe
to be honest
so.
with you, yeah, that's for another show.
She even said that Alvin got a job. She got him a job at this dinner.
Yeah,
so
like teaching inner city kids how to box. It's great.
Plot-wise, she is tying loose ends.
Oh, yeah, she's tying shit up like it's a shoelace. Then the kids come back, and all of a sudden it's just yelling, and the Rachel keeps, stop yelling. He's like, hey, I'm not yelling. Hey, this is just the way I talk. When I get you guys are making me crazy, I'm out of here.
And he does. Every scene, this dude is getting pissed off.
He always says, I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
just like Doug on the State.
I'm out of here.
But Rachel wants some sort of resolution to this thing. Like, you said that I copied your writing. I'm just trying to get a feel for how to write.
Right, and he's doing the right thing. What he means and how he's saying it are two different things. What he's saying is, what he's trying to convey is, hey, I want you to be your own writer. I want you to have your own voice. Mm-hmm. I want you to be you. But what he's such a crazy lunatic. He makes it. It sounds shitty when he's saying it.
Yeah, I hear this all the time about, if you have one prolific comic that rises, and I apply a lot of things to comedy because that's what I listen to and know somewhat about. In comedy, you have someone that kind of rises above the rest, and then you have a lot of people following that person and talking in the kind of the same voice as that person. Mm-hmm. And eventually, these people who are copying or mimicking what they perceive to be their idol, they find their own voice. And I think that's kind of what this daughter was doing. She wants to write, she wants to do well, but she needs a basis. She needs someone to kind of mimic. And she said, "Hey, here's my stepfather. He's a well-known writer. Why not do this?" And he's a total asshole about it. He could have approached it a way different way and made some headway with the stepdaughter, but he didn't do that at all. Next scene. Mary is upset, and she wants to move out. She's pissed about this whole situation.
And then he's like, you know what? You're right. I need a day off, too. Let's go to the plaza. And she starts to call the plaza to set up a girls' night or something with and I don't know what time it is. It's after dinner, obviously. Yeah. But she's like, oh, we're going to go to the plaza and get our nails did.
But she made it sound like, I want to leave forever. And then she says, we'll do this for one night. Thinking maybe if I take her out for one night, kind of pamper her, then it will be good. But she wasn't having it.
She's like, never mind, I don't want to go.
Stomps off to her room. And I don't know if it's just teenage hormones or melodrama, but there's a lot of yelling and making up during this show. That's all this is.
Yeah.
It's just these micro conflicts and semi-immediate resolutions.
Yep. So Annie comes in the bedroom. Mickey's acting like he's sleeping. Mm-hmm. And he has flowers on the desk.
Yep.
And a Post-it note, and I think he wrote something or wrote a speech or did...
I didn't know if this was supposed to relate back to her speech or something original that he wrote just for her.
Right, and so she comes over, and I'm thinking, and she sits down next, and she talks about his meaty hands.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's weird. And then I'm like, oh, sex is going to happen because they're making up again because they make up 7 times during this,
and they're cranking up the saxophone once again.
Yep, saxophone's cranking up, and then the kids come in.
This is bizarre too,
and they're like, listen. And the radio says that Mickey got shot.
Alvin.
Alvin gets shot with a dispute with some cops. Come on. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives do matter. And even more
this is Ferguson 20 years before.
It's Ferguson all over again.
Anyway, somehow Alvin gets shot in the foot.
Right.
And they make a pun about how he shot himself in the foot. Ha, ha, ha. And they're all laugh about it like, oh, should we go to the hospital to see if Alvin's okay? Do you need anything? No, we're just going to chuckle. Pans at each one of the people in the house. Pans over one's shoulder at the family picture. End of episode.
Alvin shot in the foot. That's kind of how I felt watching this thing.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Bing bong. Boy, that is loud.
We'll try to get that fixed later. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Turbulence.
Did you turn it down like I told you to? I think you were just messing with me and arguing with me about how loud it was.
Should I adjust it again or not?
Sure, turn that back down.
Okay, I'm turning it down a little bit. I'm
Thank
at 2/3.
Okay.
Why didn't American Nuclear work?
Why didn't it work?
Yeah, what was wrong with this show?
Turbulence, right here. This is your typical scenario. Two families put together. How do they interact? Why it didn't work is one is a super rich writer, which nobody can relate to, and one's the mayor's assistant, which nobody can relate to either.
Right.
And it all happened very fast. There was an hour. It was an hour, 48 minutes, but it would have been. It all happened really, really fast. I felt like at the end of it, okay, I understand all this stuff that happened. But I don't think their level in society was relatable.
Okay. I see this as an update. I mentioned it earlier, kind of the line down the middle of the bedroom thing. I see this as an updated Brady Bunch, right? You have these two existing families who are torn apart by death or divorce, and they come together to make one bigger family.
Come together right now for the kids.
So this is taking a more modern and realistic look from the Brady Bunch. Because if you go back and look at the Brady Bunch, it is terrible.
Yeah,
it is a terrible show. But people loved it because there's only 3 channels on at the time. But the Brady Bunch was revolutionary in the fact that they're saying, here is a family that was,
a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
A dad that worked every day.
Boom. Smash them together. 6 kids total. You throw in Alice. She's going to make you a nice pot roast, and you got yourself a comedy, right? Now, this was, I think, a victim of kind of not knowing what it was. Because there's definitely some funny elements, but it was more dramatic. It almost seems like today's version of that would be Modern Family.
Okay.
Where you have kind of an older guy who married a semi-younger girl. You got a couple of gay guys in there. These are all relative to today's expectations and what we consider, families today. And back then, they're taking a little bit more realistic look at the fact that these two families are coming together. Why it didn't work, I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's a class. Most of the people that are watching TV are not the same class. These people aren't watching TV. These people never turn the TV on.
So you think the same show set in maybe the Midwest or something
with
more realistic,
more relatable.
Maybe one guy runs a hardware store and the other one's a teacher. You like that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. What would you have done to improve it? Just make it more relatable.
Just make it more relatable.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how many of us know what it's like to be a famous writer in New York or the mayor's assistant? None of us.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be I can relate to a UPS driver.
Or an airplane pilot.
Oh, all day, day.
I agree. On many levels, it's not relatable. I just think it suffers from... It's just kind of in limbo in the middle, A lot of shows are, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a policeman, I'm a detective. But
I'm a porn star.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of family dramas that are on network television that have elements of comedy in it like that. Right. I think it suffers from a number of things. That being one of them, let's see what the critics had to say about...
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
One of the reasons why we're having problems with the audio is, again, Air Force One. We're still working out the bugs, and the sound system here is amazing.
It's nuts.
And I haven't quite got it right. So I apologize to the listeners. We'll make sure we get it right next time.
IMDb score, care to take a stab at it?
4.3.
4.8.
Ooh, I was so close.
Half a point off, and that's only from 12 ratings. Not a lot of ratings. Some of these have thousands of ratings.
This was off of Facebook. This was off of YouTube for a while.
Yep, it came and went. Viewer reviews. It's probably a good thing it didn't make the cut. Ruffalo would have been in Teen Beat magazine every week, and judging by the presentation of his character in the show, back in those days, that kind of reputation was harder for an actor to overcome in order to snag adult roles. He was pretty damn good in the show, too. Relaxed, playful, not trying to be boring. Really, he's entirely too hard on himself, but I guess that's what makes him so good.
Did he get back to you on Twitter?
No.
Did you tweet him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tweet. No, none of the big names get back to me. That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Alvin did.
We're more interested in the creators, writers, and directors because they have skin in the game. Viewer reviews. Victor Cornett 217 just a few months ago says, my family and I probably watched it when it aired on CBS Playhouse, as my parents always liked James Farentino, who was the father.
What else was he in?
Good question.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Let's take a quick look.
I didn't mean to hang you up.
James Farentino, unfortunately, passed away a few years ago at the age of 73. R.I.P. for sure. He was in Bulletproof with Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler. He was in a few episodes of Melrose Place. It looks like he played an ER. A lot of stuff, dating all the way back into the the early 60s.
Wow.
So he had quite a career. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2012.
Now, did he tweet you back?
From the crypt, he did not, unfortunately. He says, and I like Samantha Morton from her days on Aaron's Way. Don't know what that is. What a kick to see this nice cast of actors back in the day. Ruffalo's incredibly solid here. For someone who'd only started studying acting a couple years before, what a nice little treasure. So, and a positive one. And our last viewer review, a 22-year-old or so, Mark Ruffalo was shirtless during his very first on-screen appearance. 22-year-old shirtless Mark Ruffalo. What the fuck else do you need to know? In case the answer is something, you can watch the entire episode of this unsold pilot on YouTube. So, thanks, Rich Juzwiak. It's a fellow loving Mark Ruffalo shirtless.
He Dave Rowan that shit.
Let's see if you and I are going to Dave Rowan this shit. Oops.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
So much knowledge. So much information.
You dropped it. You dropped the knowledge.
Yeah. I pick it up and then I drop it right on the ground at your feet, and you do with it what you will. I know I ingest it. I know I ingested this pilot. I ingested our banter. My mind went back to 1989. I took a look at the interesting facts. I took a look at the summary. I even ingested all of those Twitter responses, and now my body is ready to hemorrhage a number.
Okay.
A number that properly represents how I feel about this show, taken from the show Wings from the 1990s. We take a look at all the characters from that show, down number 1, the worst you can get, a Roy Biggins, all the way up to our favorite, Brian Hackett at number 7. Captain Philip Rescher, I turn to you. How do you rate American Nuclear? Mm-hmm.
4.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I was on the fence, 4 or a 5.
Well, I don't know if it's going to
4.
bump you up to a 5, but do you remember the meta milk boner you got from that toe-headed lady?
Yeah, that's still a 4.
Still a 4. Yeah. And for all the reasons you've given, I agree. Yeah. This is right down the middle. I've seen so much worse, and I honestly, I kind of like American Nuclear. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I just think that it wasn't relatable. Put it like, Malcolm in the Middle kind of thing. Put him in the Midwest and
Malcolm in the Midwest.
I
could see this show lasting for maybe 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Why?
Just off of the actors alone.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. There is enough to keep this moving, especially set in New York City. It's an endless playground of things. Were the characters, the parents, relatable? Not necessarily.
No,
but
the both of them had jobs that they could have, had a lot of interesting things happen, in those jobs while the show was going on.
Something has happened recently.
Which kid do you think would have did drugs? I think it would have been Ruffalo.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, Ruffalo. Or it was someone on Mickey's side. Either the girl, too. One of those kids would have fallen into drugs for sure. But something has happened recently with you and I, and we are aligning more and more with our numbers on these shows, because I completely agree with you. This is a 4. This is straight down the middle. Joe Hackett, even Steven, not terrible, not great, but could have been a series. I think this could have been ingested by the American public.
Okay.
And with that, we close the book on American Nuclear, never to be mentioned again.
Forever.
Thank you very much for that. But won't you join us next time when we watch the pilot episode of Unsolved? Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Television series pilot for a proposed series that purported to show the circumstances behind a famous unsolved murder. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots on iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. And you know what to do, Tube. I love saying that. I love to say that.
That's pretty cool, technically. We should get Couch Pilot shirts that say that on the back.
You know what to do, Tube? I agree. But, I can only use that when it's found on YouTube. Otherwise, it's usually like Daily Motion or something.
Right.
Or maybe like a
That's
Vimeo.
true.
Or go to Vimeo, and you know what to do-meo. Maybe. I don't know if that works. Like Captain Philip Rester said earlier, if you have any suggestions, if you have any pilots that you know about, if you want to tell us what kind of drugs your grandmother is on, go to CouchPilotsPodcast@gmail.com. Go to Facebook and let us know at Couch Pilots Podcast. Twitter, Couch Pilots Pod. Follow us on Twitter for sure. You will see who we're contacting, and you'll be the first to find out. Because right now we're telling you unsolved, but if you're on Twitter, you're going to find out a couple episodes ahead of what we're doing, and you're going to be even further ahead of the game. And guess what? Bada bing, bada boom, frequent flyer points.
Right, and remember that in the show notes, the Classically Blue link to the show that we're watching and talking about is at the top. Mm-hmm. The Classically Blue link to the show that we're going to watch is at the bottom. Take that into consideration. Watch them before you listen. You're
going to waste 25 to 45 minutes a day anyway. Why not waste them watching one of these awful pilots, huh?
Exactly.
Call us, 910-PILOTS-1. That's 910-745-6871. Leave us a message.
Please, if you have never called into the show, never messaged us, please send us a voicemail. Let us know what your name is, where you're from, and what you think of the show. We would love it. Seriously, it would help us out.
Chances are we're going to play it on the show. We're going to talk about it. You're going to get yourself some frequent flyer points. You're going to get some surprise prizes. Go to fcfnetwork.com. Blake talked about it earlier. All the different shows available on the network. They're all free. They all come out very frequently. Check them out. They're a lot of fun. If you listen to this show and you're like, I hate couch pilots, and some of you may, check out one of the other shows. Mm-hmm. There's one out there for you. Right. Anything, Captain, rest assured, you'd like to say to our frequent flyers before we go?
No, I just... I'm glad we made it through Christmas. It was yesterday. Mm-hmm. You are my Christmas present every year. Your friendship is, and I do appreciate everything you do, and I love you, buddy.
Wow, that hits me right in my milk boner. I love you too. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Right in the milk boner.
Ooh, straight milk boner. And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.